Hello and welcome to another evening of Rust. It looks like my camera's a little bit too low. Here we go. Welcome back. I've not been on as much lately, but hopefully I can make up for that. Probably be back to the late times again. Today we're going to start a new game. That is, we're giving up on Tic-Tac-Toe for now. We don't have a clear progress on how we do without doing a lot of speculative work. I know there's a Legend League. We didn't make it to it, so... Hey there, Cries. Glad to see you. And we get right in this. We're going to start a Clash of Code. We're going to at least join the ranks. Our standard procedure, we start the show with this, and we see how we do, good or bad, and often bad. Let me check where we are in the rankings now. We're pretty good in the rankings of Clash of Code. And overall, our ranking's not bad. We want to get to Grandmaster at some point, but it's getting harder and harder. I don't know if I could join the next contest. That would give me a lot of points. But wow, we dropped so fast. Oh, man. This happens in your top 0.1%. Seriously, we're 281. Okay, so it's going to be really hard to keep those points up there. So we'll just play one per show. I don't know how good it is to win or lose. Obviously, winning would be better. But we'll see what happens. And... well, now we're the only one here. Well, that's not going to be very much fun. So today, what we're going to do after we finish that Clash of Code, somebody recommended, or Euler recommended, we play Hypersonic. And if we find this here somewhere, Hypersonic, there it is. And of course Euler recommends it. He's sitting there number 4th in the Legend League. Great. So we have quite the challenge ahead of us. In this Bomberman-inspired game, you will have to use dynamic pathfinding in an evolving environment in which blocks may be destroyed by bombs. That's fairly clear. That's why that's an important point. Is some of your actions will have an impact on the game several turns after being executed. It is therefore necessary to have a global vision of the game in order to maximize your score without dying. A global vision. Yeah, who knows what that actually means. Your algorithm should also adapt its strategy to survive against 1, 2, or 3 players. Now, I don't know how complicated this is, but if this is really like a full Bomberman style, it's going to be hard. Really, we have nobody else to play against? Man, nobody wants to clash today. Terrible, terrible. Let's go open up the Git site. I'm jumping about here. So we're gonna. Yeah, let's see. Oh, good. We just have one person. We'll put our advertising in there. And okay, so the problem. Let's look at what the game looks like. Oh, that's typical Bomberman. We blow shit up, and oh, we get improvements. So this is going to be. I'm not going to attempt to do a full scoring-based system. What I think we're going to have is we're going to have a. Basically an assisted heuristic. We're going to use a lot of pathfinding, a lot of depth finding here, and but then basically use heuristics to basically say where do we want to go and where's our safe spots, and then we'll just always calculate what the safe spot is based on where the bombs currently are and make sure we're always in those positions, and then wherever we can place a bomb, and we have to know how long it takes a bomb. Hey Thanos, welcome to the show. And so we're going to start this one today, and obviously we're not going to get anywhere close to Euler, who actually happens to be doing... Oh, did this start over here? No. Good. Say hi. I don't know if RTX is not watching us or not. We're doing great. Great. Double chat windows, I mean... I'll just throw this up there. The slogan. So we're gonna figure out. We're gonna go back to that after. Like I say, this is how we start the show always. So if you're new to the show, we just run one of these, and we have 47 seconds to wait. And we're gonna go back here and decide how we're gonna do this here. And I'll read the story again a bit later. Hi, Nkoyan. I see you're over in the Bomberman as well. I guess you've just started. You start today, or Which one is Code Wars? Thanos, I don't know which one Code Wars is. I just keep random ones. Which one's Code Wars? Oh, you mean that, I don't know, I just stick on the one site. I only stick on the one site, so I don't really know the other ones. Excellent. Dude, we only have 5 people? Let's say we do. Okay. More is better. What do we have? Oh, we had the Disc Festival. Find the point closest to 0. You're given a list of points. You must find the point closest to the origin. 2 instances and one is the first. Okay, find the point closest to the origin. We had the point. Where's the first point? Where's the origin? Okay, that's good enough. We need to have the pass. We need to say, let CX equals 0 F64. This will be the close Y equal 0 F64. What do we have to write? XY, the point closest to 0, 0, 0. Okay, that sounds good. So now what we have to do is calculate a distance. Distance equal 0, doesn't matter, 0 F64. Let ND equal, how do we do this instead? Okay, we have to do, so let's be F64. Since it's closest to origin, this is a bit easier. Plus Y times Y. We don't actually need to do the square root because if it's already 0 or ND is less than dist, then we do CX equals X, CY equals Y, dist equals ND, and these all have to be mutable. Oh man, somebody's already finished. They typed too fast. And we're going to print. People type too fast. I guess I have to help to type at all. CX equals CY. Let's test this out. Look for the error cases. Let's play all of them. Looks good enough. Let's take our chances. Alright. Good. So, alright, we did okay here. Come on, guys. These guys type too fast. I think I read the instructions a bit too slow. And, okay, so in Korean, you didn't actually... yeah, Thanos, I know Code Wars. I'm just responding to some of the chat. And... ooh, what happened to Furbos here? You got one of them wrong. Weird. Okay, what did Duke Marty do? It's probably the exact same thing. Yeah, exact same thing. Q none none none. It's a bit easier in Python, but not much. A little bit less typing, a little bit less but basically the same basic algorithm. He actually put the square root in, which isn't necessary in this case. And that's just because you're doing comparison. You don't need actual distance, but that makes sense. Alright, so we did okay here. There's only 5 of us, so that, again, when we have only 5 people on, as we get matched up, I don't know, it gets harder and harder to go in the ranks, but that's okay. Was this one fun? This one was fun. Was it difficult? I actually think these ones are perfect for this type of competition. The statement was clear. Test case, I have no idea. I don't know how to answer the test case relevancy. I mean, I don't have a chance to look at them or anything. If we can look at them afterwards, I'd be able to do that. Alright, so let's close this off and let's go back to our... wherever we're going. Alright, so Thanos, as I said, I'm just doing coding game on this show for now. We have enough here to do. The Clash of Code, they're okay. I mean, I do it just to start the show. I don't find it the most exciting thing to do when we have an easy one. Hello, moderated seal. Welcome back. And so today we're going to do Hypersonic. There's a few games here. We have in our shears, we have Euler here way at the top. Surprisingly higher than Recurse and Ion Codes. Recurse is the guy at the top of Tic-Tac-Toe right now. The game we've given up on because we don't know what to do. And Marchette, remembering the competition. Ion Codes we know. And as Nkoyan's saying, he's just basically printing weight. He's pressed the join button, submitted the default code, and done nothing more is what I guess. And so today, given the 3 Wood Leagues, we're probably just going to be setting up the code and making the basic logic. And the way we're going to be approaching this is assisted heuristics. I have no idea if that's a real term. we're going to be doing heuristics, but we're going to be using a lot of pathfinding stuff. So for example, we're going to say, I want to get to here, but let's use the, I guess they're called Voronoi diagrams to figure out where is safe and always stay in a safe location. And a little bit different than the typical Voronoi or the typical flood fill is that every step we take, we're going to have to count down one of the timers of the boxes. Because when they explode, there's going to be positions that are worth like minus 1,000,000 points, minus infinity, that we can't be on because we'll die. And so it's not going to be a normal stepping, but those things also step at a given rate. So they explode at a certain rate. I don't know if we're going to find out the details. Let's just join this and see what happens here. And again, we have to set up the code a bit. I did set up some skeleton code before, but some of it's broken and we have to fix it. And destroy more boxes than your opponents with bombs in this Bomberman-inspired game. Okay. Rules. The game is played on a grid of 13 units wide and 11 units high. Unfortunately, the game is right aligned, meaning you're always going to have part of it hiding behind the chat window. I will apologize for that. And there's still no way, and I've requested this feature, I really want a way to just maximize to like part of the screen. I think it's actually one of the fundamental problems with these full screen buttons in like browsers. They're not very friendly. It's like, look, you either have this little tiny thing we've decided or your whole screen. There's like nothing in the middle. Like, who actually wants that? Rarely do I actually want full screen. I mean, I'm not watching a movie here. I don't really need it. And all right, 3 of 5 there. Good. So we'll see what happens there. Each cell of the grid is either floor or a box. Floor cells are indicated by a dot and boxes by a 0. Oh, we have to parse these things. Floor cells may be occupied any number of players. Good. A random amount box between 30 and 60 inclusive will be placed symmetrically across the grid. And yeah, Christ, theater mode. I don't want theater. Yeah, I want theater mode, basically. What YouTube now has. I just want to say fill this part of the screen. You can't see this. I always keep forgetting that. I need to have a switch to the background camera. Look at this. And someday I'll set that up. I have to get a second computer first because I don't actually know what OBS is streaming. I don't have that anywhere on my display. But yeah, that would be great. And I already have it zoomed in quite a bit. So you notice my buttons are showed off to here. We just assume what they are. The buttons are here. We have it zoomed in. Alright, and we keep going. Every turn a player moves horizontally, vertically adjacent to cell. The bomb is already moved. A player won't be able to move there. Players can occupy the same cell as a bomb only when the bomb appears in the same turn as when the player enters a cell. That one seems fair. Using move, grid coordinates will make the player attempt to move one cell closer to those coordinates. Will automatically compute the shortest path. Okay, this nonsense we're probably not going to do. We're just going to skip over this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to rely on the closest path. This is something we're going to have to calculate on our own. Otherwise, this will be crazy. I mean, you're just going to walk into flame otherwise. Using the bomb command followed by map coordinates, make the player attempt to place a bomb in the currently occupied cell, then move one cell closer to the given coordinates. Again, we won't use the automatic pathfinding. We'll always just move one cell away. Players may stay in the cell in which they place a bomb. Okay. Only one bomb grid at a time. In this league, players are not hurt by bombs. They're using practice explosives. Okay. I wonder what a practice explosive is. Here, hold this. It's going to blow up. It's going to destroy all the boxes around you, but don't worry. You'll be fine. Bombs have an 8-round timer. The timer decreases 1. In the round where the timer hits 0, the bomb explodes. In this league, explosions have a range of 3. So these are just a bunch of constants. Blah, blah, blah. Explosions will cause the bombs they hit to also explode. So yeah, this is a... We're going to have a big simulation here. And the simulation is going to have to be exactly accurate so we don't die. Every step of the game, we're going to have to simulate this. And our... Again, they keep... I don't know what the algorithm's actually called. It's the same one I used in Tron. And with this one, basically, we're going to step the game every time, and we're going to walk. But as we step the game, we're going to have the game state step as well. So we're going to scan through the state that we possibly want, and then step forward. And we're basically going to have to step forward 8 times. And this is going to be a tree-based search. I'm trying to think this is... Yeah, so we're going to have a little tree-based search, basically. Get us to a safe spot. And make sure as we're stepping through the simulation that we don't die. And I don't think we have to go too many spaces ahead. But this could be problematic. Alright. 200 boxes, we win. For any type of players, bombs. The owner will be blah blah blah. Oh, go get that. Was you parse it in? Oh, so this. So again, they already determined that we need to have the exact simulation, so we're going to advanced rules here. Explosions do not go through obstacles such as boxes or other bombs, but are included on the cells the obstruction occupies. That seems fair. A single obstruction may block the explosion of several bombs. Now, the one thing I don't see here is that what's the speed of the explosion? Is it instantaneous? Okay, then we have all the blah, blah, blah constraints. Hey, where'd my flavor text go? Oh, I wanted to read the flavor text. And... Alright, so it's really simple. What does the basic one do? Let's see what happens if we actually just play the default one. To get an idea of how the game works. And we'll do this in full screen here. We're going to use none of their sample code though, of course. And so we just sit there, because that's all our code does. And so we could write a Wood League bot that's extremely simple, but as I always do in these things, there's really no point in doing that. We're just going to immediately start going to the next phase, and just because there's no real point to just make it quickly do the Wood Leagues. We don't get a confidence boost from that. We know we're going to make it fairly high in the leagues. Some of them we haven't made it silver, but I'm pretty sure we'll have no problem with this. And so we're not going to get any more points here. Alright, now let's go to the game here. Where do we set this stuff up? We were in Tic-Tac-Toe. Now what do we need? We have this skeleton directory. Get ignore cat skeleton. Now there's stuff missing from the skeleton directory. Anybody remember what we're missing from the skeleton? Cries, come on, join us. That'll be great fun. Make a bomber as well. We'll eventually fight against each other. And you can see... Yeah, we'll compete against each other. Anybody watching before, remember, have any idea what we had to add to the skeleton files? Let's take a quick look, see if I remember. Because I don't want to keep having a skeleton, and we have to fix it. Skeleton bundle RS. Well, we have to change the stuff here anyways. You're always allowed to steal my ideas. Nobody minds. I have lots of ideas, and if you can like screen capture fast enough and do like an OCS, you can even steal my code. But so this is fine. This is fine. What else do we have? On open file, cargo tomo. We might need more there. We have lots of stuff to change the skeleton. I don't know how much we have to change the skeleton, so let's just copy this whole thing. And as I make changes, let's try and actually do it to the skeleton this time. Skeleton to Hypersonic. Is it 2 words or one? 1 word. I don't even need a dash this time. Let's do this. And if you ever notice me doing this, removing this slash, this is because the copy and stuff on OS X is broken, and it does something different when you have slashes or not slashes at the end, which is a real pain in the ass. CD, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh. Right, now let's set all this stuff up. Can we open a directory? Open a folder. Let's open a Hypersonic. Now we have this RLS plugin and it's not been working well for us. And we're going to hope maybe it works a little bit better this time. Bundle, and we're going to call this whole thing Hypersonic. New Coding game name, that's fine. Create Hypersonic. Cargo Tommel is going to be Hypersonic. The rest is the same. Coding game main, extreme create Hypersonic. I just use the same crate name all the time. But that gets kind of silly. I don't want to use the same crate name. It's a bit weird. Yeah, we'll change that as well. Bin main. Hypersonic. Now we have two different main points. One for putting coding game, one for testing locally. We're using the plugin from ePens, and that was just an issue with how it bundles. Let's put the advertising here as well. Well, let's see if anyone wants to see us play a new game. General. Germans. There you go. And so hopefully, so we have these two mains, and it's just because there's a slight error in the ePens' builder. I think he was going to try and fix that, but it doesn't make a big deal for us locally. And lib. This is all fine. We don't need this. Dead code. That's fine. So the try seems to be working now. What do we have to do to start? We have a main. We're going to have to copy this somewhere. I don't know why. Let's just copy it. I don't know if it's the best thing to copy it. Okay, Cries. If you go over to this site here. Oh, I can't give you my full scaffolding, but I can tell you we're using ePens' Rust source builder here. And he has an example of how to set this up. And if you have a problem getting that running, I can let you know. The basic setup is, let's take a look at the directory. Come on, Visual Code. Let me take a look at the directory. You have the bundle RS, the cargo file, and a main file, and the source and target directory are not targeted, that's part of the thing. And source just basically has entry and lib, and then it has a bin. And you kind of have to follow the structure, otherwise things will go weird. And this is just my own scaffolding code. Unfortunately, I don't have this published anywhere. But if you have any trouble setting up, just let me know. I can tell you what's in these files. So now over on entry, let's go to entry. We're going to copy this from the screen here, wherever we are. Let's copy all of this. Wow, it's like really not much to read in this time, so copy that. In main, we have entry main. Let's just get this out of here. So that's technically not there. So now we have enough to do cargo build and see what errors we get. And let them take the first time to slow it down. Now it has to build and things every time. I don't know if it has a shared local store or whether it can reuse stuff in Rust. It's one of the things I didn't like about Node.js is every time you make a little project, all the libraries and stuff you want get duplicated, so every little project has its massive duplication of stuff. And I think Rust is doing the same thing. I don't think it's as bad, though. I just don't know where the stuff is. I wonder where it is. Where is it, really? Oh, it looks to all be there. So it's doing the same basic thing. And yeah, Cries, we've not worked with workspaces very much yet, to be honest, and maybe it's something I should look at some point. We're not sure how the bundler and stuff works, though, and yeah, I guess at some point we should look at what a workspace is, and I think this, yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple for now. I mean, as I say, I don't like this. I say I honestly don't know how it works yet, so I'm not going to actually complain about this yet. I know it was a problem in Node, but I don't know in Rust yet if we can actually share this stuff. If there's a way to share this stuff, then great. If not, then I don't know yet, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. But we actually had an error here. And look, the RLS stuff is already broken. RLS has already given up and telling us what the problem is, which is rather unfortunate. So we're basically always flying blind here in terms of syntax hiding and stuff, is that the plugin for Visual Code just basically, this is like the most basic setup. I don't know why it's broken. Everybody else seems to be successful, and I don't know what we're doing in our setup that just breaks RLS. It's very, very simple, our setup, and it's like the standard de facto Rust setup of a project. We've not done anything different other than the 1 second main file. But so we're going to be in this console a lot. Sorry, I can't just double click on these lines. Or can I? Control click to follow a link. Wow, that actually works. I never noticed that before. Well, hey, that saves me some time. Cannot find entry. Well, because it's entry main. Well, that doesn't mean... So that should be fixed in the skeleton. Source. No. Source bin main. Entry main. That's a simple fix. Okay. Entry main, so we're going to do clear and cargo build. I always do it clear. Again, because RLS doesn't work, there's no integrated building of any kind. Function main is private. Okay, that's fine. Let's make that public too. And you know when to clean up the stupid skeleton. None of this is part of the skeleton. Let's get rid of this parse input crap. Print air we don't need. That's part of this. Yeah, eHeeks, which I do know how to clear terminals and stuff. The reason I do the clear is because so I can just press up and have one keystroke, so I don't have to manually clear each time. So I can really just literally just press up and clear the thing, and it runs the command again. Usually I use Control K though. So if it's Control I there, I just don't. I mean, again, it's just because I want to be able to press up and get it. Skeleton. Let's clean up that main thing in the skeleton because we're going to come back to this at some point again. Doesn't need to have a print error. Doesn't need to have this. It needs to have this. We leave that game loop in there. Alright. Oh, I pressed tab somewhere. Who knows where. Oops. So it is actually working now, and we have all the stuff we don't use. That makes perfect sense. Hey, thank you very much, Temp. Thank you for the subscription. Much appreciated. Hopefully I can keep you entertained. Alright, so this is all the unused stuff. So now we actually have to start the work. We're going to actually create a state and start storing this. And we're going to do it the exact same way we did it in the other programs. Is we're going to have this entry point here deal with all the actual parsing, and then a separate state class that actually deals with storing the state. We're going to try and be Rust friendly here, and this is something we've been bitten about before, is that do not attempt to do object-oriented coding in Rust. The concept of like virtuals and abstracts and shared pointers and stuff is not its strong point. We're going to feel better if we work with like disjointed little states and control states, and it's a little bit hard to deal with, but we're going to keep trying every time we do this thing to think more and more in this way. There is no clear way in how this is supposed to be done, but we're just going to keep trying to get it better every time. So let's get this out of the way, get that out of the way, that out of the way, get the cargo out of the way, the bundler out of the way. Can we create a new file? We're going to create a new file called state, and we're going to, a lot of the stuff is going to be stored in state originally, and then we have to put this in the lib file of mod state, and this has to be use state star. And what do we want to do? And I've completely forgotten how to set this stuff up. Struct state. And this does a derive from default. Copy, clone, and debug. This is our common set. If you're new to Rust, what this is that I'm pretty sure this is making up for problems in C++. If you've done a lot of C++ programming, you'll notice whenever you write a class, you have to worry about crap like, oh, but I don't want a copy constructor, I don't want an equivalence thing, I don't want the default, and I don't want this and this and this and this. So Rust has gone the other way. It says when you have a state, it has no default construction, it has no default assignment, it has nothing. It has nothing. And so this is why you say derive. But we're saying, look, there is going to be a default for it. There is going to be a copy, and there's going to be a clone, there's going to be a debug. As much as it's annoying to type this thing, I kind of have the feeling that this approach is better than the C++ approach. And so when I do my own language, Leaf, and I'm going to probably follow this way. Cries, yes, the bundler just merges everything into a single file, and then what I do is I go over here, and I say use external editor. I say use external editor, and then I use CG local, which was written by one of our other viewers. It's over here as well, Jasper's external editor. And wherever that is, we're going to say select local file. We're going to go off and find that thing, source evening rust private. Where is it? Hypersonic. And then we have this single file here. We're going to choose this. And we're going to upload this. We're not going to download. We're just going to upload it because I manually copied it. And this just sits in the background. Every time I build, it's going to copy it over to here and upload it automatically for us. Uh-oh. That looks worrisome. I'm going to make that little thing go away so it doesn't use up whatever resources. This is not looking good. Uh-oh. Oh, no, no. I don't like having such errors. I was playing with OpenGL and Leaf again today. Oh no, but I reset since then, so it can't possibly be my fault. Alright, so we're going to also implement struct. It has a default. I don't know if we'll use the default or not. Implement state, I mean. And this is supposed to be pub. I don't like the way we have to notate pub in Rust, or the struct is pub, the implementation is not pub, but the functions are pubbed. It's kind of weird. Okay. And I had to say everything's pub in here. So what do we need to have in this state? What does a state have? Let's just go what we're reading in. It has a width and a height, and it has my ID. This is very clear. This is very common state. So this is like the global state. It's going to have a width. Actually, this is kind of silly. I want a point class. We have a point class somewhere else, so let's go steal that one. Where did we last use point? Did we use that in Tic-Tac-Toe? We did not. We used point in... We need to use a matrix as well. Where did we last use this in... Let's check the modified date. I don't remember when we last did these things. These modified dates are weird. They're wrong. That kind of sucks. Code for Life, Borders of the Galaxy. We used a matrix there. Tic-Tac-Toe used a matrix. We can probably... No, we didn't use a matrix there. Where the hell did we use a matrix and a point? No, 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 no. I don't know where we used them. So we're going to have a matrix class, and I don't know where I last used that, so let's go find that. Let's go find these files I want to use. Find ... name matrix. Wow, that kind of sucks. Point. Borders of the Galaxy has a point, but that was a... we probably need an integer point class here. We can always create another one. I'd like to just copy stuff. Man, I really need to keep a library of this around. For Tic-Tac-Toe, we were still doing the competition? I think so. That has a point class, and it also had... Alright, well, we'll find that. We'll find the stuff. Because what I want to do now is I want to say... I think our point was floating point, so let's just create a new one now. Let's just do... which, yeah, I agree. But you don't have to do that in C++, I mean. Bob is okay. Alright, so we're going to have a struct point 2. And I'm going to call this I point 2 because it's an integer point. X, and this is going to be an I32, and a Y, and it's going to be an I32. And this has the same thing. I'm going to put this in another class right away. Derive, default, copy, clone, debug. And now that I think about it, the state probably shouldn't have a copy thing. We don't want to enable copying by default. Copy actually changes the behavior, so it does a copy value by default as opposed to not allowing it. So let's put this in another file. Point. I point to rs. Default I point 2, so we'll just worry about this. And so the size of the board is going to be an I point 2. Now, the reason I'm doing this because Rust loves using unsigned values for sizes, and I strongly disagree with this when dealing with things like matrices and stuff. Because we're going to want to refer to stuff outside of the region of the board, and this is very, very common. You want to do standard math, and unassigned values are not good for doing standard math because you temporarily have negative values, and unsigned will mess you up. So unless you have a particular reason to use size, it's actually not a good option, and so we're going to be forced to cast that quite often, but I'm okay with that. And the IDs we have, my ID are also I32, and so let's just say my ID is an I32. And so in the entry, we're going to have a let mut state equals state default. State.size equals 0.2. How does this work again like this? Yeah, x equals, or no, not equals, x. State.myid equals this one. Good. So we parse the basic thing in there. And we don't care about the efficiency of absolutely any of this. And so we have this row thing, row, and what does each row have? I'm just going to read the thing. What do we have on these things? This video is looking bad. We have trouble here. Let's get down to the input. An empty cell, a box. An empty cell, a box. And then the entities on the board. Okay. So now we have now I'm actually wondering if we actually have a matrix or not. These boxes are going to be dynamic. I'm wondering what value there is in actually reading this directly into a matrix, as opposed to just a long list of entities. They present it this way just to do a grid, but it seems a little bit weird because the boxes are going to go away, and we have to be able to put multiple people on the same spot in the board. So like you have to be able to have a bomb and multiple people on the same pot in the board. The boxes are distinct, but that duplication means that a matrix is probably not so helpful. Obviously, when we do the calculations, we're going to want to do that. Maybe I say maybe because there's another way to do this, but the matrix is probably the best. Each turn, we're probably going to want to create a matrix of the current state of that turn. But the actual game, I think, does not need to store the matrix of the way it looks. It's just going to create a big list of all these entities. And there's something called param1 and param2, which we don't notice. So we're just going to read all the stuff in. And we have to read the characters on the board. So our state needs to have an entity. Hub struct entity. I hope that's not a default name. Default clone. And this one should have copy. This should work by copying by default. Simple. It's going to be tiny. Pub enum entity type. We have an entity type as well. And what do we have as an entity type? A box. What is the entity type? Sure, it'd be nice if they enumerated what the entity types are. They're going to tell us this or not? They don't want to tell us what the entity types are. Well, we know we have a bomb. And we probably have a player, let me guess, with an ID. I have no idea why these are... Oh no, shit, the box thing again. Rust uses box. Sorry, I'm just going to put a box here. Can we call them crates? Oh, Rust uses that as well, so... It's called a game box for clarity. Game box. So entity has a type. Entity type. And we're going to call it what? Because type is a reserved word again. 3 types of boxes. 0 empty. 1... Oh crap, there's items inside. Well, not in this league, so we're going to do this league first. But that'll end up becoming like this, box I-32, saying how many items are inside of it. We could probably do that right away and just say, if we know that in advance, let's just say there's an I-32, there's items in the box. And what else do we have in the vector? Entity is an entity type, what it is, and... I'm never so clear on these enums, actually. They can cause problems, but let's just keep it that way for now. An owner. Well, owner's going to be this I-32 here, I presume. And the bomb is also going to have an owner. Well, actually, maybe there's not a player then. Maybe there's an owner here. Owner is an I-32. And then they have a position. Why am I putting these capitals? And then we have a position. And this is an I.2. Okay, I got it moderated, sis. So there's not 2 items inside, it's just a different item inside. Yeah, let's just remove it for now. Let's deal with the next league. That's not going to be a thing. So it has that param 1 and param 2. I don't know what those are. We don't care about it. Organ grinder, I think everybody else can hear us. So, can somebody else just say hi, I hear you? Just confirm to organ grinder that it's not my stream causing the problem. Alright, so I only need 1 person to hear me. That pretty much confirms my upload. So organ grinder, I think you're going to have to figure out on your end. Have you tried plugging it in? Sorry, I had to do it. I've actually had that problem before on my desktop. That going from like one program, you have like the program's volume control, which is not necessarily tied to the system volume control, and then you have like the soft volume control, then you have a master volume control, and that leads out, in my case, off to the mixing panel control, which has a per channel control, and then it has a master control, and that leads out to my amplifier, which has another control. So I think for my typical control, I think I have 8 points to adjust the volume of any program in my system, and it can cause problems for me sometimes just not knowing where it's actually not playing it. And usually it's because I've knocked the cable out in the back, but hey. Or because I've left my headphones in. If I leave my headset in, then I also can't hear the sound. Alright, so that reads that. Let's start reading this in. We have these entities, and the state has to have a list of entities. And this is going to be a vec of entity. Yay! A vec of entity. That's the correct symbol yet. State entities, so let's just read these things in. State entities. And for each of the game board, we're going to have to read in the boxes as well. So for C and row.chars. And let's do this. Let's do for I, comma C in row.chars.enumerate. Let's do it Rustian. Triple refresh. That's an excellent way. There should be a shortcut for that. I know how often I have to use. If C equals, what is the box character? 0. This looks suspiciously like a match statement. 0. We're going to do something here. Otherwise, we just not going to do anything. Mut state. Okay, before we do this, this all we're going to do clear. I should use state.entities.clear. State.entities. Is it push? Push. Entity. What does an entity have again? It has a what owner and position. What owner and position. Now, does anybody know what the game IDs are? Is 0 a valid player ID? Let's just say -1 for this, and the position is going to be an I.2. I don't like doing it this way, so let's do I.2 at. And this will be, wait, this has to be X. This has to be Y. X comma Y. Okay, so 0 is valid. So -1 is going to be our not owned by anybody. Entity type bomb. There's going to be a bomb here, so we have those. A box, sorry, box, game box. And I need to create a default for point here. Wherever I put the I.2, implement .2. This is supposed to be public as well. Public function, and we'll do an at because it's cleaner than directly initializing each time. X I32, Y I32 gives us self X comma Y. So that adds all the boxes in. Now we have to add in all this other crap. State.entities.push. Entity. And what do we have here again? We have what is this, and we'll get back to that. The owner is owner. I don't care if I know it is correct. The position will be I.2 at X comma Y. And I'm going to ignore the param for right now. And what is going to be match entity type. And you know what? These strings get really annoying. We have to do something like this. The matching on strings sucks in Rust. I'm sorry, it just does. We've not found the clean way to do this without doing wackiness always when matching strings. And do we know what these strings are? Or we're going to have to run the game once and let us tell us what these things are. Why do the instructions never do that? Entity type 0 or 1. Wait a second, is this a... It's an I32. That's odd. Organ grinders so far... When we did the competition, Botters of the Galaxy, the last one we just did was Tic-Tac-Toe. and we gave up because we got far enough. We had Tron done before that. We did Code for Life poorly, and we did all the golf games in Rust. And I forgot, we did a whole bunch of practice games. And Reknakas, yes, we're finally doing Hypersonic. Yes, we came to this one just because it looks most fun. And Cries, Gamebox is not an entity. Where did I say it was an entity? I have an entity type. It's an entity type. That's where I use it up there. Or do you mean something else? Okay, 0. This is going to be entity type. Player. 1. Entity type. Bomb. And anything else, we will panic. Oh no. Should probably be X here. No, can't call it X. Let's call it Q. For question. Q. So that gives us everything we want in terms of boxes and bombs and stuff. And as much as I said we want to do it the correct way, I think we can quickly get through this first wood lead just by going beside any boxes. So let's just always look for the next box because we don't die. And then I can quickly find the nearest box. And well, we have to know where we are. So we start creating these things. Where are we? My ID is 32. So let's do this. Public function. Find player? ID I32. And this is going to give back a entity reference. And oh yeah, we gotta do this shit again. Something like that. I don't actually remember how to do that. Man, it's been a while. Oh, that's why it is. It's supposed to be self. And if you don't like the syntax in Rust, you think it's really weird, I just live with the idea that, you know, somebody designing the Rust syntax looked at C and thought, you know what? This isn't cryptic enough. Let's make it more cryptic. And they introduced stuff like this. I don't like cryptic because this, at first glance, no one knows. You have to really know C, and it's impossible to look for this stuff. I mean, if you know Rust, you know what it is, but if you don't, it's impossible to look such things up. And the names, I don't see the value in it. But anyways, that's just lifetime stuff. You can look for that. So we're going to do find players, and we're going to do find by, and this should be an optional entity. I hate doing optional references. So let's pretend it's always there. We're going to pretend the player's always there, that they don't die, and we might have to change that later though. And so what do we have? Is we have self.entities.findByKey, and we have ENT, and we want to say ENT dot what equals entity type player and ENT dot owner equals ID. I think that makes sense. And we'll just panic horribly if it fails. Alright, so what we want to find here is we want to find the player. We want to do, where is the player? Actually, we don't even have to know where the player is. Let's do this. Player equal state.findPlayer, state.playerID. And we'll move this all off later. And now we need to find the bomb nearest to us, or the box nearest to us. Let's just make a function for that. These are probably all we moved off. Find nearest box. We'll move them into the strategy code layer. Find nearest box. A self ID. Now, to be totally honest, these entity stuff, we're not going to be updating them. And these structures are tiny, so let's just get rid of the lifetime crap for now. And let's hope it goes fast enough. Find nearest box, and where do we need to find it to? To an I.2. Now the find nearest box is going to be a little bit weird because it's technically not the find nearest box, but again, we just want to do this quickly anyways. And this one could be an option. There might be no boxes left, though I presume the game is over at that point. I don't know. Or maybe we just keep shooting each other around trying not to die. And I think this is a max by key or min by key. Self. Petrosil, it's nice to know because that was going to be my strategy. After I do this basic thing, after I get the basic rules working, my plan was just to do like the simulation with like the Voronoi A-star searching stuff. I don't have the correct name for it. And basically just step to the simulation and just pick the moves where I don't die, and every time I can drop a bomb, just drop a bomb. And okay, so that's great to know. So we'll get quite far then, and that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to simulate the game. And I just want to see it working first so we know how it works. I'm trying to do it rusty-like. Without planning bombs. Oh, that's nice, without planning bombs. So let's just do it that way then. And find min. I think it's find min. Is it find min by key? Or I don't remember all these things. They have weird names. Now we have to filter. Filter. Ent. What equals entity type. Gamebox. Dot find min. Let's put this filter on a new line. Filter at find min entity. Yeah, let's just create a helper class here. Public function Manhattan distance. Manhattan distance and self 2. I.2. And this gives an I.32. And what is a Manhattan distance? This is going to be 2 minus 2.x minus self.x dot absolute plus 2.y minus self.y dot absolute. Manhattan distance is just the number of squares walking up and down, vertically and horizontally, how far it takes to get somewhere. And that's how we walk, completely ignoring what's on the actual. I gotta check this out. So I'm guessing this guy never plants boxes, he just walks away. He sits in the corner. That's pretty sad. I was just about to say that right now, because you could just simply just don't move. And you'd get there. Well, let's try to do better than not move. At least see if it works first, at least for the first one. But if that works, then we're going to jump up there just to make it fun. Let's write a bit of code first. Entity, so we're going to do... okay, so you mean, I think Modern said you mean Gold League? You actually have to destroy boxes, or Silver League? Well, let's see, let's just get there. I just want to get some of the code. This code is all here to validate the stuff. We're going to have to go through this anyways. Like I said, it's not important how far we make it with like a silly strategy. But we will be doing heuristics, so... Energy, so energy dot position dot Manhattan distance. Woodley, okay. Oh, that's right. The first one you have to destroy boxes. So that's what we're doing right now. Dot boxes. Distance. Manhattan distance. And we're going to do it to position 2. Alright, so we find the nearest box. Let near box equals state dot find. What did I call it? I probably just find nearest box. Player dot position. Yeah, I'm relying on that, and now I wonder if I can be stupid. Can I put a move off the screen for now? Near box dot position dot x near box dot. Like, I can't move on to the box, but it's going to find the closest path to it. I don't know how the game's pathfinding is actually going to do this. I wonder if this is actually enough. I don't actually, let's just do if. No, let's do match near box. Some box. There are no boxes. Then what do? We print line. Move. Player.position.x. Player.position.y. You know what? Just bomb the whole time. I don't know if we have enough boxes or what happens here. I just want to see what happens here. Go build. I don't want to have too much code before I can see something working, and entry state.myid. Forgot the semicolon. It's probably everything. Impulse state. What am I missing here? What? Oh, yeah. Some box. Expected pattern. Found blah. Well, that's weird. G72. Some G box. Come on. G box. Entry. Use 0.2. Oh, I forgot the lib on it. No, no. Come on, you stupid program. Did you mean I.2? Probably. I probably meant I.2. Where did I put that? Oh, right, this works down here. Oh. Why do I have to control click at height? Yeah, state dot size dot y. I.2 star. I still not figure out any way in Rust I can stick a bunch of classes in the same module so I can do import all at once. It's, I think, something with to do another module, but that might screw up the packing, because having to do import all the time and all these actually just slows us down. State.rs, let's control click that one. Yeah, we already know it's not found. Not found. They're all not found now. Import I.2. Use. Maybe we should use it instead of importing it. Oh yeah, this stuff. Yeah. Entity type. Derive that from. We need a default for this. We want to clone it as well. We want partial equality as well. We might as well put debug on here. And we want copy on it as well. We don't need to use clone. And we're going to implement default for entity type. What would the default be? Maybe it shouldn't have a default. I guess it probably shouldn't have a default, because there's nothing correct about it. There's no default I can give it. Oh yeah. Pub. Pub. There we go. That's our first one. Sheet 37. What do I have now? Unknown field. State.myid. That's correct. We'll use the same my and I find by key. Alright, so now we have issues here. We're going to iterate these, I think. Just kind of guessing. State's fine, so you can't have a default entity. That's fine. So I have to look at the find stuff. Find Rust. Find Rust. Find. Let's open up this Zeal thing again. Do I answer yes? No. Something screw with my display. Rust. Find. Shit, something's consuming all my resources. Nothing in particular. Weird. Okay, Minbai. Okay, that's what it is. Well, I'll see what that is. I don't know what it's doing. -W1. What does that do? There's no -W. Not really much here. We seem to be fine. I don't know why it's... I think it's something screwed up with the display. Okay, we have... Where are we? Find. Where is that? Just find. Just find. I don't like the naming here. We have find and then filter, but then we have min by key as opposed to just min. I think it's inconsistent here. I wish the by and by key were consistent, and there should the find should, I think, technically be a find by key, to be honest. So find by key makes more sense. Expected entity found reference. Wonderful. I thought this should automatically just point to it then. This is a bit weird. I thought I wouldn't have to do that. Now, I don't know how to do that one. How can I avoid getting references here? I don't want references. Dot clone. That's correct. Still getting... No! No, 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 no. Cloned. Why the hell is one clone and one cloned? What's the difference between clone and cloned? Rust. Cloned versus cloned. What the hell is cloned? Okay, my thing's outdated here. So this isn't a cloned, it's like a clone dereference. Shitty name. Alright, so it seems to have built. So let's at least run this thing. Here we go, our first submission. We're not submitting, we're just playing it. Do we actually do something and not fail? Oh god, what do we do? We failed to write a timeout. Well, that's not very good. Oh, we screwed up that one part of the code. Need game, coding game main. And this is also in the skeleton. Remember, update skeleton. Uh-oh. Weird. We screwed up some line somewhere. This is the bundling that's failing. Always end your files in a line feed. I don't know why. I don't think that's Rust's fault. That's the builder's fault. Alright, so we're going to have to do a bit more than that to actually clear boxes. We're actually going to have to walk beside them. And... okay, so our stupid one here is going to have to do something a little bit more. How much do I want to do the work right now as opposed to just find quickly? Basically what you want to do, you want to find the spot closest by that has the most boxes beside it. That'd be the quickest approach, but all we have to be is a tad bit more clever and we'd win this thing. Alright, so we're going to do a slight improvement here. Yeah, I have no idea why these programs are failing on me. You think there's enough? Well, I'll just submit it. Let's see what happens. My goodness, there's a lot of people in the Wood League. My fan on my computer's been going crazy lately, and it's just... something's making it just go crazy. Oh, no, don't leave the screen. Never leave the screen with this open. There's a defect, and it consumes, like, lots of memory. And... wow, their system's super slow today. What are we stuck on, like slow mode? Let's do high quality as well. Let's do times speed times 2. That's right, we don't necessarily need to beat the boss, so we're close enough to the boss. So we're already... and... it's one of the things I complained about in the competition is that the Wood Leagues are like an excellent way for you to like ease yourself into the game. But at the same time, without the full rules and knowing what to do, you can structure your code incorrectly, and I don't want to really refactor. So there is sort of an advantage to just kind of like get through this stupid thing before we do too much work, because the work we do here we might just end up throwing away. And I'm fairly certain, I don't know how much we have to do here, like, we have to get the matrix stuff in eventually, but do we have to do it now? And so the next step of the logic here, if this doesn't work, if we really want to do it, we don't have to worry about the bombs, is that scan scan the board for positions nearest to you that have the most potential to give you points. And that's literally just going to go to every space of the board and calculate how many boxes you would destroy if you put a bomb there, and then walk towards there and place a bomb. And that shouldn't take too long to do. But as edA-qa says, we might be good enough right now to make it to the next league without actually improving it. So let's see what happens. Although, and this is something we had in the competition a lot, if there's a lot of people failing against the boss, his score relative to the top here will be very high. It's like the 23 is a big jump to the next one. And we don't have a lot of battles left. But given our success here, if we just waited, we might be pushed up enough already. Because we let people play against us and it pushes up our score. And as long as we go up, we would be fine. But we may not be going up fast enough. But that'll be my next step. If this doesn't actually get us there, I'll just do the next step. I'll just do the scanning of the board, find the position with the maximum score, and try to walk there. And again, that might not be enough because that maximum position might be really far away. So again, you're going to have some scoring there to basically say just whatever position's close by and gets you one, just stop there. But if there is multiple ones, so there's already some scoring involved there. But it looks like if we just left this, we'd do well enough. But let's just go work on that right now. See what that code would look like. Basically, we're going to scan through the whole board, looking for something nearby that's good. And we'll just give it points to it. We'll give a simple scoring thing. We'll just say a position's good. We'll give it 1 point per box. And minus half a point for how far it is away from us. And that'll be simple enough. Okay, and we're just going to create a separate strategy file right away. Stage start. Like I said, I'd really love to get away with this stuff all the time, but yeah, I knew. edA-qa said I took the cheapest possible approach, and we could literally make it a little one step better than that. But let's do the next step better. Instead of just taking the one step better, let's do the whole next step better. Public function. Good place to bomb. And yeah, moderacy. I think that it'll work too. It's just I'm just placing the bomb way too often, and see, the reason I can't easily scan for a bomb being within range 3, I guess I could. Yeah. Let's just write this function, good place to bomb, and we're gonna find a good place to bomb. Well, not the good place to bomb. They're gonna say it's a good place to bomb, and we're gonna say close to where, and we're gonna go to. And we're going to I.2. And this is going to give back a option I.2 because we not actually have a place to bomb. And so now we're just going to score every single position on the board. And so for that, we're going to do... I'd love to do a filter, but honestly, I don't know how to do an enumerated filter in a grid. So let's just do it this way for y in 0 dot state dot size dot x size dot y for x in 0 dot state dot size dot x. Let the best score Hey, Destroy Computers, welcome here. Best score is going to be equal to 0 I32. Let mode bus position equal to none. We don't have a position yet. And we'll just quickly make a function to score it. Score position, state and state. Let's just make it similar to boxes within range. 2i.2. And this is going to give us an I32 value. And then I do it here. So obviously there's a box on here, it's no good. And this is where I say I don't have the grid set up yet. I don't have a quick lookup to actually see if there's a spot right here that's actually a box. It's going to be costly. So let's make a special state here, and this is really bad. Oh god, don't use that thing. And we're going to make a special one. We're going to say at return number of boxes within bomb range -1 if on a box. If on a box. That'll help me short circuit here. So let boxes equal boxes within range. And where are we? That's the state, and this has to be an and. We already have a state. It's already referenced. edA-qa, and this is a capital state. I point to at x comma y. There we go. And if boxes equals -1, we're just going to continue here because it's not a valid spot for us to go. And let distance equal, well, let's choose this one. Let position. Don't want to reduplicate. Don't want to duplicate anything. So in a position, put box here. Let distance is position dot Manhattan distance to 2. That reads weird. Manhattan distance to. Oh well, whatever. And so how are we going to say the scoring? We're going to say the scoring is, we wanted to make the distance half, so let's just make the position -2. That should be fine. Let's score equal to boxes times 2 minus distance. If best position is none, or scores less than best score, or not best, greater than best score. Then we say best score equals score. Best position equals some position. And then we return best position. We didn't accidentally sneak through. Oh no, we didn't sneak through. Of course not. So this get good place to bomb. Now we have to do the boxes within range as well. And I'm hoping this is going to be fast enough. Should be. How much time do we have to make a decision? We know how to fix this later. 100 minutes. That should be enough to search through. That might be enough to search through every single square times the number of boxes. So 30 times 60, 600 searches through 10 items. 60,000 item comparisons. That should be within range. Reknakas, I actually don't like this. I don't like this because it's weird when you have multiple returns. And when you have a short function, it's great. And when you have inline stuff, I actually really agree with it. But at the end of a function, it does feel kind of weird. And it doesn't quite fit in sometimes. But that's, yeah. All right, boxes within range. So we're going to state 2. All right, so is there a count function? What we want to do is we want to do state.entities. .iter, .filter, entity. Entity.what equals entity type gamebox. And entity.position.y equals 2.y. Or entity.position.x. Alright, what is the range actually? It's the same y and entity position.x minus 2.x absolute is less than, what's the range? 3. We'll put a constant in there later. Oh, wait, so what about right here? Constant bomb range equals 3. All right, thank you, Higgs, because I'm going to use it right here. And this is going to have to be in big OR. Position.x equals 2.x. So we're looking for things on the same line and entity within their bombing range minus 2.y.apps. It's less than equal to bomb range count. This should be all the boxes within range. Good place to bomb. And let's change the entry point as well to say not find nearest box, but strategy, good place to bomb, and state player position. Near box, the G box. This is actually not a box, this is a position. And this will be a position.x, position.y. And here we're doing an if position.x equals player.position.x. Actually, we should do a comparison for this. Let's see if this works for it. I don't know how to do a comparison. And we can duplicate that. We're gonna simplify this later. So once we're in space, we'll move. Otherwise, we'll do that, and then we're gonna find out what errors I made. Not so many. Not so many. Just mod strategy. Use. Okay, fine. Use. What's its problem now? Oh, right, because I don't have to use strategy. I just do that. Did you mean best position? I probably did not. 3. Okay, I did. Best position. Yes, count away as I-32. Now, I'm not returning the -1 here. Is there any way in this iter that I can short circuit it? Right, what I want to short circuit is if this filtering, if it gives a, because I want to return -1 if there's a bomb there, and I thought I could optimize this, but if I'm using this, I don't think I can create an optimal loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. I'm going to do it another way, count. Let mut count. No, I can't. Yeah, limit count equals 0 I32. For ent in state.entities.iter. And this is unfortunate. I don't know how to do this way. Well, I can at least do the filtering. Just do this way, okay. So I can't quite, there might be some way to combine that, but we're going to basically say if entity.what does not equal entity type gamebox. Continue, that's basically the filter step. Now we have this, if entity.position.y equals 2.y and entity.position.x equals 2.x, and we should really put a comparison on there, then we're going to return -1 because that means we have a box on the square. Otherwise, we want to say if entity position at y is position bomb, or alright, that whole thing has to be in brackets. Then we say count plus equals 1. Then we return count. Now, there must be some way that we can reuse the functional methods here, like filter and count. But what I need is a short break. This thing here is what's messing it up. This would work, except we need to do this check here as well, and I don't want to run through the loop twice because that's expensive. But not that I care too much yet. Okay, so that's actually doing something. So let's see what happens if I play this now. Let's see what our guy does, if he does something sensible. I place a bomb. I place a bomb. What the hell? I don't think we're clearing... This is weird. The bomb range is too high. The bomb has a range of 2, not 3. What does the game say? Range of 3. And based on what I see here, this is not a range of 3. This is a range of 2, because this is a position here, and it goes 1, 2. The range, I would say, measures from the edge of the bomb. So we can change that, though. And that's why the game is getting... That's why ours is getting screwed up. Bomb range is only 2. Because it keeps thinking there's a good position there. And that lets us win. And obviously we should walk around, but this will probably be enough to get us by here. And we're choosing decent positions. We don't keep walking, which is silly. But we get a lot more than him, so let's submit that. That'll probably get us through here. Let's see us find some bombs. So we actually, and you notice I actually went pretty far there. So and this is like I say, it's stupid. It's cries. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's a very simple one. Yeah, we're standing around too much. And you notice that one there, we walked too far. And like I say, I'm not attempting to do a strategy here. I'm just doing the basic thing is that we should have dropped bombs as we going. Because as we're getting to the place, and I don't know the rules of the bombing yet, but why are we stuck here? We shouldn't be stuck here. I have a feeling something wrong with our input. We're not understanding something correctly here. There's a box being missing, and... But we'll probably be fine. And let's see where Cries is doing as well. So we got us. Do we have this? Where do we have? What's your game name, Cries? Oh, there you are. You just submitted as well, so you're getting up there as well. Do we follow you? Well, we don't. We gotta fix that, okay? Yeah, I think egg is that there's some switching thing wrong there. I'm gonna write some test for that. And so, Christ, you really just joined to play this game? That's excellent. Where are we now? You're going up pretty fast. Around me, and I should probably be okay here. Wonderful. So you can join with us, see how far we get, and come on, 0.01 below the boss. So we should have no problem getting up there right now. We're gonna have to wait the 3 minutes. Then we're gonna have to do a strategy, and I mean the heuristics there are basically gonna be, well, figure out what that one bug was that made us lose that one, and then obviously don't stop, and obviously I think really quickly we're going to have to walk out of the way of the bombs. And this is what I haven't bothered doing anything for yet, because the bombs don't hurt us. This is going to be the iterative simulation. We actually have to simulate the board based on the game we're going to simulate, and what happened there? How do we go back down? What? We took a massive drop. Cries, we're probably fighting Cries and losing. Let's see what happened. How do we take that massive drop? Fermi and... Oh, we don't play many games, that's the problem. So we hit one guy that knocked us really far down in the ranks. Well, that kind of sucks. Who's this other guy? Vibi. Fermi. This Fermi guy is screwing us up. Cactus. And that kind of sucks. And one bad match. And Fermi doesn't actually appear to be able to beat the boss. And so I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to resubmit it. And hope for the best. Otherwise, I actually have to go and improve the logic to keep walking. It shouldn't be too hard to do, but it looked like we were doing well enough. I mean, we're beating the boss, and what we should do is we say if there's already a bomb in that position. So it's a really simple fix to keep going past this point. If there's already a bomb in that position, don't consider that position. And this is really weird. We get stuck. We still win, but why do we get stuck? It's something with the input that's wrong. No, I didn't win. This guy named Fermi came in and knocked us down. Something weird here, so I think this bug is probably screwing us up. Where'd I go? Come on, show me where I am. Oh man, so I'm gonna have to... Where'd I go? Alright, so we gotta figure out what that defect is. Let's go back to that, last battles. Where's that stupid one? Where's the stupid one we're losing? This is the stupid one we're losing. Why are we losing this one? I could make my guy walk further really quickly, but I'm interested in what this bug is first. I can't. I want to place a bomb, but I cannot. That's fine. That one looks fine. What is the problem here? What am I seeing? That's weird. Alright, so this is debugging time. Why am I stuck there? Let's print out ePrint line. Best dollar question times. How many boxes do we have there? Best position dot unwrap. Or not just say unwrap. Best score. There has to be a best position. Let's get this one submitted and figure out what our error is. That's really weird. Speed this right along up to here. Well, I ended up in a different spot, but the same. Ah, shit, I forgot to use the parameters, but we get stuck in the same place. And there's 0 boxes there. Right? But there's boxes on the board. So why? Boxes within range. State, comma, position. So it's not finding boxes, but it is finding one with 0. How is it not finding any? Boxes within range is doing something wrong. So, let me get, so for every position in the board, Y, Y, X, and X, point to X, boxes in range, Manhattan distance to 2, boxes times 2 minus distance. Oh, this error here. It's because it can be 0 because they're too far away. Well, that's stupid. How can I quickly change that so we always have enough boxes? The logic is I don't want to walk too far if there's ones that are close by, and what's a quick way I can do? So if there's something close by, because 0 boxes is obviously really bad. I want to do some sort of logic for it. Yeah, no, E-Hag switch, I don't want to do it yet. Come on. I'm trying to do a quick solution. I know we did Voronoi and Tron. It's going to come up here too. And I'm trying to think of the logic here. What do I want? I want to say... What's the maximum distance on this grid? Oh, let's just do something stupid right now. Let's just say 20 and get on with it. And we'll do one other thing. Or int dot what equals entity type. Wait, no, I wanted to get by, so if there's a bomb on the current position, if we're currently standing on a bomb, I just do this first of all. We do better. Just submit that. And so the other one is that the next step is we should keep moving, obviously. We shouldn't stop once we place the bomb. And without doing a simulation, that's actually... I don't want to fake it, because without a simulation... Cool, so his bot's doing the same error we just had. So he had like the same scoring strategy. It's so funny to see that in other robots. It's like you can see the thinking they had. He's right now debugging the exact same thing I did, which makes it really easy to win against them. All right, so where are we at now? And of course, you can see the boss is being pushed up here. As people compete against him and lose, it get pushed up. And so this makes the Wood League probably a bit more challenging now than a few seconds ago. But, okay, so we're doing really well now, though. And we should be fine here. Cry, so your bot is more intelligent at coming... Oh, you got knocked down somewhere, though. What just happened, Cry? Oh, you resubmitted, probably. You resubmitted. No, you're not going to make it. I'm going to make it before you. Oh, we might get promoted at the same time, though. Oh, I'm just killing it here. No, okay. That little change about scoring the boxes, that kills it for the Wood League, so we should be fine here. Wood League's not impressive because there's really not much we did here so far. And because the bombs don't hurt us, there's really no AI involved in this yet. One just simple, very basic scoring thing. And not even a very good one. And I just sit my bomb stuff, so you don't even have to move much. So this is the basic one. And we'll see what the rules are for the next Wood League here. But this gives us a massive leap here, so it's probably at 34. What was that? Oh yeah, so we're better than boss, so we'll be promoted just fine. In 3 minutes we have to wait, though. And then we'll have to see what the new rules are. Let's see how high the score gets. Hey, it didn't even wait for this to finish before it said we've been promoted. Is there like some sort of threshold where it kicks it in anyways? Or is this just delayed that much? Let's see how high the score gets in the next 2 minutes. So as we get to the actual logic here, we're going to have to simulate the game, and I'm not doing that yet. And simulating the game, what we're going to do is I'm going to use the matrix, and I got to figure out where I stored the previous matrix class. And I'll store all the boxes on the board, and each cell should probably also have like a danger status, a bomb, like a flame status. Is there flame on the board? Or something like that. The matrix is going to have to store multiple things. And as we walk around, we're just going to stay out of the way of flame. And apparently we don't even have to place bombs to make it the Silver League. But we will. We'll see where it goes. But we want to see what the next Wood League first. And we might try the cheating strategy first, simply not moving. See how far that makes it. Okay, Cries, you're doing well. Cries is going to join us. Oh, you snuck into the same time. That's great. We can actually do this. We can take this away, delete this, put in Cries here. Where's Cries? There we go. And we can play against each other. I don't know if you've seen this feature, so we can play against Cries and see who's going to win. We don't have to wait for it there. Cries will beat me. Speed this up. Oh, so he's not waiting. So that's the one thing it is. Cries actually did it so he doesn't wait, and I just walk right into a bomb like an idiot. So he's probably going to beat this every time. Oh, I won one! Haha! Alright, and the leaderboard, where are we? So we're going to be tied at the top here. So you're still going up, I'm still going up. I'm going to have more... I just got here quicker, so I have more score than you, but it looks like you'll be fine. And you're also doing Rust. Okay, wonderful. Is anybody else doing Rust here? There's one guy, but he doesn't seem to be submitting. Hong Kong, okay. I don't know if there's anybody submitting still anymore. We're just waiting for the timer, so we should be promoted any second now. In 4 seconds. 4, 2. Bing! Yay, we're next. So now we can place more items. Do we die? No, let's just submit it and see where we go. See if we have to do anything to improve. We're just going to place lots of bombs, and the next step of proving is doing exactly what Cries does, is basically move along. And let's just get this here committed, get status. And I forgot to commit something at Tic-Tac-Toe, source predict. Thanos, I live in Germany, but I am a native English speaker. I come from Canada originally. Whatever this is, Hypersonic Wood League 1. Alright, so the next thing we have to do, if there's a bomb in our position, if there's a bomb on the target, the current best position, then we don't bother going there. And we'll just do this really expensively right now. If there's already a bomb there, then we return -1. So how do we do that? It's not a game box. I have these two commissions combined. Why don't we see if there's anything there? Let's pretend if there's absolutely anything on the position. This is really stupid logic. Well, because the player could be there, the other player could be there, so they could screw us up, but they're not likely to do that. And this will let us place multiple bombs now. Oh. Well, I still am a native speaker, so oh no. Oh, we have to read some rules because we're panicking for some reason. Oh, so there's stuff in there. Extra range, extra bomb. Fine, I'm just going to figure out the enemy types for bombs. An item. There's items on the board now that we have to deal with. So we have items. State. What are the items? Yeah, that's exactly what monitor said. Item. And what do we have? We have an item. We have two items types. Should I make these separate ones? Item range, item count. Just do it that way. To entity type. Just put item range for now. Just screw that. Just go away. And I'm going to probably be blowing these up now. That quick code I did is not good. I guess I should probably place a bomb at some point. What's he doing? What the hell? I don't know how much longer I'm going to go today, but let's just do that. Let's just figure out why that's not placing bombs. Alright, because I'm counting myself. It's not a game box. Or if it is, if ent.what. I'm just going to do double click the connection. I was trying to simplify. If there's a bomb here and it's the same position, I was trying to avoid duplicating this. And then return -1. This position shouldn't be considered. There's already a bomb there as well. Thanos, yeah, we're to compete instead of cooperate. Now, in the theory, compete. We both have a good idea, I think, what we're supposed to be doing. And why am I sitting here like an idiot again? Why am I not moving? Move 4-2, move 4-2, move 4-2, move 4-2. And I'm at 4-2. 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's bad. I'm trying to move to a position I can't get to. Why would I be doing that? It's weird. So I still have some basic errors in here. Alright, I'm going to go to about 1 o'clock and then I'm going to stop. Or whatever time it is there. Who knows why I went there? Move 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm moving to positions where I'm not supposed to go. Right, like I'm parsing something wrong here. How do I end up in that position? Like he's trying to go here for some reason. And that makes no sense. Let's read that document again. What input do I have now? That's fine. An empty box. Well, it still says an empty, a positive integer. Oh, yeah. Fine. We've got to parse that in correctly. Let's just do this. We'll go back and fix this later. I just want to see how far, if I can go something quickly today. It's only 2 items, so that should be okay. That lets me win that. We're never going to collect items. Oh, we accidentally collected one. Well, we don't act on the items, so it's not going to help us any. Let's just submit this and see how well we do. At least we don't fail. Cries, how you doing? You're just ignoring me now. You're working on your code. No, not chatting. That's almost cheating. Sorry, it's fine. So we're still only accidentally picking up items if we get anything. We're still winning all right here. Wow, we jump fast. Still ignoring items. Oh, Cries is right in front of us. We stopped progressing. That's because his previous one was probably better. Alright, so we might get out of the Wood League too just with this simple change. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. Although I said that before, I'm going to push back down, but usually just because beating it. Yeah, okay, Christ, so your old one did a lot better here than our old one, but with our simple change, we jumped up really fast. So we should be totally fine. Like I said, I'm gonna go for about another 15 minutes. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. I should be on Sunday for sure, though. Should be on Sunday. That's like such a weak statement. I should be on Sunday for sure. Maybe It's like I might as well just say roll a dice, and if the number is 5, I'm gonna be on. And well, you can roll it on your own and then decide. Come back to me with stats, but. Alright, so I'm still ignoring items entirely, which is fine. We're going to have to parse those in. The reason I'm ignoring all of this is because we kind of know that avoiding the explosions is going to be the most important thing to do, because dying puts you out of the game, and some of the Wood Leagues don't necessarily approach that correctly. Alright, so now we're going to die because the grid now contains walls. What is a wall? Alright, so this is going to be EHEG switched out. Yeah, thanks for watching. Guten Nacht. And I think I'm going to be done for the day as well, because I'm not going to be able to quickly handle these changes here. This is a lot of changes, so let's pick this up tomorrow. So we quickly made it through the first 2 Wood Leagues, but let's pick this up tomorrow or Sunday, and then we see where we go. And it's kind of disturbing I can make it up this rank. Oh, that's because it's just random people making it through. So I wish you luck, Cries, if you keep working on this today. We'll see where you are tomorrow, but tomorrow when we do it, we're just going to start implementing closer and closer to the real thing. And because we have to avoid the bombs now, we pretty much have to do the simulation. And the simulation is going to determine everything. So the strategy we did so far is just going to erase that. That's just nonsense. We knew it was nonsense. And then tomorrow, we'll actually implement the strategy. So thank you very much for watching. Guten Nacht, schlaf gut. Faites de bons rêves, and whatever you want, whatever language you want, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Probably.